Hello.
And maybe my things. Okay, there we go. And so there, her number's listed along with her extension, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about what the HR department expects from you because of your credentialing situation. My name is Steve Thornton. I'm the coordinator for beginning teacher support, and we oversee you guys that are PIP, STIPs, and interns, which we have labeled pre-credential teacher support. This is our admin assistant, Jessica.
Hello.
And her email is on there as well. We put, I think on the agenda, the office number. So the office number is on there. It's a weird kind of funky extension. It really is 13,000. The Cisco phones. But if you call the office and talk to Jessica, she often can answer a lot of the questions I can. And I will tell you that I'm not in my office a lot. I'm making a point to be in somebody's classroom Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday morning. And then I have tons of meetings in the afternoon. So just by confession, I will tell you the best way to get a hold of me is to send me a text message. Okay? My emails can sometimes marinate in the inbox for a few days before I get a chance to get to them. In fact, I tried to work through some today, and I still have 30 that I have to get to. So they can sit there a while. But if you text me, I promise to get back to you as quickly as possible. We're going to talk a bit about what PIP, STIPs, and interns are, and where you guys are at, and what that means. But before we get there, I wanted to give the floor to April, and she's going to explain the plan to complete and some of the other expectations that HR has for you.
Okay, so hi, my name is April Mesa. I'm the HR officer here at Madera Unified. So I'm new to Madera as well. So I started last year around Thanksgiving break in this role. And so learning Madera, and then in February, so I'm just, what I heard when I was meeting with people last year that we released based on not finishing their credential was that they weren't aware of certain things, they weren't told certain things, and so they were kind of blindsided when I had to have a release meeting, right? I changed things. Assistant Superintendent of HR is Mr. Joe Aiello. I met with him and said, well, you don't ever want an employee to feel blindsided or lack of communication. Therefore, I'm going to implement some changes this year. Hence why I'm coming to the orientations. New teacher orientation was different. And so some of you may have heard this again, but technically on these plans of complete, they were due September 1st to Kim Crossing. So Kim and I work closely together. We're right across the hall. And she keeps track. And then I audit. So when she doesn't hear back, she'll email me saying I've emailed 3 or 4 times, no response, called, no response. And then that's when I slip in. So that's what I'm here today to present. So on this plan to complete, we have to, by law, we have to keep up where your progress is because you do not have a preliminary credential or a clear credential. So we hired you based on your degree and with the verbal contract that you're going to get enrolled, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Therefore, we're able to pay you a full teacher's pay without having a credential. So we have to monitor where people are at. And so that's our first step. So right now, Kim's in the process of scheduling meetings. And then I have heard principals tell me, what do you mean they're not coming back? I wasn't told. I was unaware. If I would have known what they needed to, I would have stayed on because I wanted them to come back. But a STIP is only good for 1 year. That's it. So you, not Madera, you can't go to Fresno, you can't go to Clovis on another STIP. You're done in the state of California. You have to be prelim eligible or intern eligible by the end of the school year in order to remain teaching anywhere in California. So that's why we're trying to help you, support you in any way we can, but we need to know where you're at. So if you have not got this to Kim, I'm sure she's already emailed you. She gave me a list for the single subject people who she has not heard from. And so if you need one, I'll leave a few with Steve here so you guys can get that done. Anybody going through East Bay for their online credential program that's here right now? Okay. I'm gonna just, if you have colleagues, if you have any colleagues you work with that you know are in that situation, it is a little different. They won't be able to complete one with a signature of the university. they have a one, just so that you're aware too, they have a one-time enrollment. You can't, so the application period is, unless you're gonna go to East Bay for actual in-person classes, their online credential program, the window is February to March. And then they notify in May, first, second week, that you got in. What happens is they make you take a class in June, and then they can send us something showing you're intern eligible by July. So we have 3 or 4 people currently that did that, but we have people trying to do it for next year, so obviously this will look a little different. And so that's when I have a conversation, I kind of fill it in for Kim, saying you're gonna have to follow up. When they apply, they need to show you proof they applied. When they're told they got in, they need to send that email to you. So we're trying to make it work with our East Bay folks, but that's not, if you're at Fresno State, National, any of our others that we have MOUs with, they should be able to complete this for you. If you're having issues getting a hold of someone, please email me and let me know what university you're with and if you're having difficulty, so I could step in there because we have it on our MOU. So I have a different contact than Kim and other people, which is usually the Dean of Education. And so I could reach out and find out what's taking so long or why there's a lack of response for our employees, and they usually jump right on it. So if that's an issue, email me and let me know who your university is, okay? So why is this important? Because this year what we did is, in February, I'm gonna meet with everybody, unless they're already get an internship by February, some are just a few months away. But by law, we follow Ed Code, that's school law, we're governed under Ed Code as an LEA. So we have to release for either performance, if they're not tenure, or due to credential issues by March 15th. So I start meeting with people and we give you a letter regardless, okay? But what we tell you is, okay, here's what you need left. Kim's gonna follow up in the spring. Where are you at with these exams? Where are you at? But if you don't get it done, you are officially notified by writing and in a conference at that meeting. But we try to follow up with you because we do. But what we also need to do is plan for our site. If a principal has people not returning, we need to hire if we know you're not gonna finish, okay? So that's another reason. And our deadline to show proof you're internship eligible is May 31st. And that'll be on your letter and you're told that in your meeting in February. If for some reason you qualify for your internship by then, you don't have to worry because an internship then is approved for 2 years. And we only meet with interns who are on their second year to see if they're gonna get their preliminary by the deadline, okay? So that's why I'm here today. Does anybody have questions about the process?
If you're, so like I'm on the SIP, so if they get that paper, which she did, and then they realize like, oh, you're actually intern ready, will they let you know? Well,
The only person that's gonna know if you're intern ready is your school.
Okay.
They have to apply for that for you. So as soon as they do, what happens is CTC, we can see it pending, application is CTC.
Okay.
So,
Because it seems like they don't know a lot over there, so.
which,
National.
oh, they do have a
I'm
lag
upset
time.
about it.
Yes, they do have a lag time, but to their, what we found out is they did a whole restructure in their school of education. And now there's like analysts and it's just a different format.
Yeah.
But supposedly we have a person identified for us, Madera Unified, as our person. So
Yeah, because that paper took me the entire month of August to get, and that was like 10 emails and 7 phone calls.
oh, okay.
So it took me from August 1st to the 31st.
Were you dealing with Mary Woodall? Was it still taking that long?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
went
who
through
you-
her name, and then they were like, oh yeah, we'll get it, we'll email it, and that took another 14 days, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me until the 28th.
You have that
Had the
too?
exact same issue from
The whole
August. Yep. And I had people say, oh, email me as soon as you get this filled out and I will get you your plan to complete as soon as it's done. And it took even like those people that said like, oh, I'll personally do this for
Yep.
you. Like
Those
weeks to
same
get
thing
that to
happened.
me. Yeah.
So,
Because Mary's pretty quick at responding. Like with me, because I had 2 other issues that she got back with. But you got it through, so you're good. But in January, you'll hear from Kim again, just saying, okay, out of these, which ones did you knock out? Like if they listed all your courses, and then we scratch them off because we show that you are making progress towards that goal.
I'm not familiar with this. Is it different for a CTE?
Yes.
Yes. But you're working on you have a credential in something
Yeah,
else?
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm
preliminary
enrolled.
CTE credential.
Okay,
Yeah.
So it's a whole nother
different.
game.
I'm enrolled in credentialing program.
okay.
A whole different game.
All right, so, yeah, this, as long as you're preliminary to teach, because you're not on a PIP, STIP, anything like that, so you're good. Any other questions about this process and why we're doing it, or why we have to do it? Or about the meeting for the non-reelect meetings in February? I just don't want people to say they weren't told, because that didn't rest easy with me, especially coming in new to the district. I know I wouldn't want to feel that way, blindsided and no communication, so I'm making sure, but you don't have to wait till then if you have a question, or there's some that are on this because they just need to pass one more section, and then they'll be internship eligible or prelim eligible, and Kim will switch it as soon as she gets the approval from CTC, so you won't have to worry about that, and you won't get a non-reelect letter from me in regards to a credential issue. Mr. Ayalo handles all performance issues based on evals for non-reelects on that.
So as soon as we're internship ready, we can have our school apply for us?
Correct.
And then update you guys, okay.
Yes, so what will happen is when you submit and your school says you're ready for an intern, we'll apply.
Yeah.
They usually shoot you an email. A lot of people have been shooting that email to Kim. So then she knows to be checking every couple days with CTC, and then it'll show intern, and then they usually backdate it up to 90 days. So then your credential will be good 2 years from there to finish whatever else you need to do.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Well, you have my email, my phone number there. If anyone's still looking for a school, I've emailed people the schools we have active MOUs with, meaning board-approved universities. Some enrolled in that were not on the list, so now we are pending board approval for those. So I can do that also. If they weren't on the actual list, but you've enrolled, I just make contact and get their MOU so I can get it to the board. So we're doing that as well. So don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. We're here for you. We're here to support you in anything that you may need to help you be successful.
Does anyone need a plan to complete?
Nope.
Good.
And I think Kim emailed them out as well, but if you do,
Okay.
Kim will email it to you if you don't want the hard copy. Okay? All right. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is just academic. All right, so in the interest of time, normally I make you read all this and get the answers. How about if we cheat and I give you answers? But I still want to provide you with the paper that goes with it. So, anybody a PIP today? PIPS is a provisional internship permit. And it requires that you have 18 units or 9 operative units in the area that you're teaching. It completes with an EL authorization. Only the school district can give you one. You can only have it for a year. But the main purpose of a PIP is to get you ready for subject matter competency. So the four of you, where are you at tonight?
I'm done with everything.
You're on the other side of things.
I'm just waiting for my CSAT results.
And then you'll be preliminary. So that's the subject matter competency.
Yeah.
So you took them, you're waiting for the results. So here's the backup plan to an illusion. You're in the same boat?
Yeah, I'm waiting for my C7.
Okay. So what happens if we don't pass CSAT this year?
Well, I have a year to take it to pass.
Yeah, but what happens if we don't?
That's it.
It's a possibility we could use a PIP, because the PIP is designed for subject matter competency. So have you used a PIP yet?
No.
So there might be a little something for you just in case, but it's like on the fringes out there. So we don't want to count on it, but it's right there. Intern? Intern?
Short term,
Understood?
XCSB.
An intern. Okay. So what is the short-term staff permit? A short-term staff permit is somebody, actually, it's a catch-all. Provided that you have something in the 18 or 9 units in the area that you're teaching in, and it's designed to get you into an internship or catch you if you need something on the other side of the internship. So you both did your intern with student teaching and you finished your TPAs.
Oh,
See-
I haven't done my TPAs.
Still have TPAs? Okay. But they're gonna jump you into internship, or you're already on the outside of the internship?
No, they're gonna jump me into the internship. So I'm just waiting for the CSET and
To get
then
into it.
to get into.
Alright, so you guys are on opposite ends of the stick, right? He's done with it, you did your TPAs, you did your student teaching.
Oh, okay.
I get my CSETs and I'm preliminary. Alright. You're thinking, I get my CSETs and I get to be
The
in the
intern.
program.
Yeah.
To get my internship. Okay. Short-term staff permit is good for 1 year in your lifetime. PIP is good for 1 year in your lifetime. There's no renewals, there's no waivers, there's no nothing. It literally says in the credential bond per year. Okay? All right. Keep walking away from my credential. So River is in, you've probably heard him say CTE. And you guys are secondary, maybe know Career Tech Ed. His, kind of weird. He has no student teaching. He has no classes on how to run a classroom. He has no training. And you just throw him in there and say, hey, because you're the bomb, here you go. And then they said, to finish your clear, because he's got a preliminary CTE, which is really easy to get, he has to go to school for what, 4 more classes?
I have to take 2 classes.
2 classes.
And 1 test.
And teach for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? It sound easy? In one half the way it is, but on the other hand, he doesn't have any of the experience and training that you guys are getting. Furthermore, how do you get more money on your salary?
Credits.
Units. You got any of those?
I have some, but I don't have like a bachelor's degree. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we need to get to the bachelor's degree
Yeah.
because then the units don't even count yet because it's
Yeah.
all postgraduate units and it goes all the way up to 75.
Yeah.
So once you get a little settled and get a few dollars in your pocket, I'd recommend throwing out there and getting a master's for sure. Because you need that to move on the scale. I mean, it's like $1,500 a year, right? Every time you move.
GI Bill, right?
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah, exactly.
Jump on that.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't even think that.
All right, let's talk about internship.
What free at? All free.
So, internship, you have to pass the CSETs to get in, so you have to show subject matter competency unless your major aligns with what you're teaching, right? So, got to pass CSETs. Ed specialists have to pass the RICO, okay? Reading instruction, did you have to do that?
Stupidest test on the planet.
Has a 60% pass rate. People really struggle with that. Okay? You can be an intern for 2 years unless you're SPED. You can actually be in there for 3 years, and there is a waiver. But there's some more requirements that go with it. Being an intern means that you must have a district-sponsored mentor and a university mentor. That's 2 hours a week after school or before school every week. Okay? Plus 144 hours of support, including EL support. We even have to designate who on your campus is your EL coach or who's going to help you with that. Right? And then when you finish, you need to move into a preliminary credential. Now, in your case, if you were to get your preliminary by December, we put you in MIC in January. Okay? MIC is how you get your clear. So River gets to go to school for 2 classes and take a test. You all have to go through induction, which is a work-embedded mentoring program focused on your teacher growth. It's a 2-year program. Okay? I'm going to tell you about some shortcuts. You like that? See, we're cheap first, and then we give you some shortcuts, right? Make sure when you talk to Joe that I hooked you up. Okay. You have to be in a university. The district provides the PIP and the STIP credential. It's good for once in your lifetime, doesn't matter where you go. You use it, you burn it, it's done. The internship is from the university. They're the ones that are actually giving the credential, right? You're like, well, what the heck? What can the district do for me? Well, we'll work with any university, but it's up to the university to give you that internship. And they generally want you to take a few classes before they jump in. National's a little faster,
I did mine last year.
right?
My internship was last year.
But like at Fresno State, there's so many classes you have to take before you can become an intern. Okay? Questions about PIPs, tips, or interns?
I don't know if you'll know this, but
I know everything.
okay. So how for national, and I don't know if you're doing this too, but I have to wait for my CSET, and then that's when I can go into either like my student teaching or my intern hours. But since like I have the position, I don't know if they'll count those hours towards like my student teaching hours, or do they just jump it into an intern
It's
observation?
going to start, the clock starts when you get the intern credential.
Wait, when did you start at National?
I've already taken 5 classes at national, and they won't let me finish because I haven't passed the CSET. So that's what I'm waiting for.
It's that first, so National has like a 2-part. It's like the first 5 classes, and then there's like, then your actual credential program.
Yeah, so I took the 5 classes, and then I took my 3 classes for my master's, and now I'm waiting for the CSET to finish the rest
Student
of
teaching,
the 4.
essentially.
Yeah, the student teaching.
Because I got it with the waiver because of COVID. So it was like, everybody got waiver for CSET. So that's why I like went through my whole program, and then like, I mean, I took the CSET a couple times, but like in other subjects, but, and I just took another one in August. So I got to do my whole program done, all my classes are done, and then now it's just CSET, finish the recode, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So but it was because I started school in like winter of 2019. So
And they don't,
they will not let you move on without CSET.
That's the way it used to be.
Yeah.
COVID.
yeah, and then my degree is exercise science, and because I'm not PE, they're making me take the CSET. Even though it's under the umbrella of kinesiology, they're still making me take the CSET. That's what I thought too. I thought, well, maybe I just don't know anything. But yeah. So they said if I was PE, I wouldn't have to take the CSET. So that's where.
And that CSAT PE is pretty tough.
That's what I took.
So I took one.
It's not
It's like, well, I coach and I've like done sports my whole life, so there's a lot of things that I kind of knew already. But then there's other stuff
There's
that
a ton of science.
she would know. Like, but
So
and there's a lot of
yeah,
science.
it's like 3 subtests. So I passed one, and I'm waiting for my 2 results. But like one of the tests is kind of funky. Then I feel like it's up to your discretion as a teacher
Yep.
what you would do in that situation.
Yeah.
And then there's no really like way to study for it.
Because that's what, like, one of the subtests was like teacher perspective, not necessarily PE, just
There's
teacher.
Yeah. Like,
And
so what
then
would you
one
do
was
as a
like
teacher?
PE, and then one was like the science of physical education. So
So that's why it's kind of funky. I'm like, well, which is why I'm struggling on the teacher one because I'm not a PE major, so I didn't take the teacher classes at Fresno State. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's what they learn. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
you
they
don't,
won't.
you don't learn how to be a teacher until you become a teacher.
Right. But yeah, so that's
You guys
why
are
I'm
both
stuck.
STIPs?
You're an intern, right? Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're an intern now. What university are you at?
Fresno State.
Pretty straightforward. Gonna start your TPAs this semester?
Ours are integrated, so we finish it in our coursework.
That's it.
He would have accepted that if he had a COVID waiver. She will, even she's at national. So yeah, you got those ahead of you this year. And it's not called TPA, it's called FAST. But it's the same thing. Fresno Assessment of Student Teaching. And what university are you at?
National.
National. So you're coming here in the same stories.
Yeah.
Are you glad you don't have anything to do with all this?
I'm at YouTube University.
So, expectations. Just so you hear the total transparency, Rivers Credential does not require any mentoring or support.
That's a,
It's a
just
requirement.
being honest, like, the mentor is like awesome.
All right?
But you have,
But I have
right?
to. I find it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
find plenty of mentors for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just not, I guess, formal. But I have Trisha as well. That's formal. But yeah.
She'll help you get lesson plans, she'll help you do assessments, she'll help you decorate your walls,
Yeah.
she'll deal with class management.
I need that.
But-
Yeah, like, my wife calls it a man class.
So, Yeah,
4 inches.
kind of like our walls in here.
Yeah, it's like
So what we looked at was the CTE teachers and said, how can we just let them die on the vine? So we did it because it's the right thing to do. But for each of you, it's a requirement of your credential that you're receiving an hour of support a week. Okay. So our expectation is that all of you have TSMs. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I have some PE teachers that are not, but they're part-time. Your 3 to 4 hours a week with your person, one of those hours will be devoted to answering some questions, doing some reflection, and putting a journal together. What we believe about you is that you need to survive. And then when the 4 of you get to induction, you need to thrive. And we up the rigor and the expectations, and we're looking at evidence and a whole system geared to how am I growing as a teacher, evaluating yourself where you're at, throwing out some goals, this is where I want to be. We're not going to do any of that with you guys because you're doing all you can just to pass a test and go to class and meet with 2 mentors and hello, I have a life, right? So we understand that. But failure to satisfactorily participate goes back to Joe or goes back to April and say, hey, this person's not participating, they're not doing what we're asking them to do. And that's the part of the condition of your credential and that meeting that could happen in February, right? So she said, everyone's getting a non-reelect notice. I don't know if you heard that from her. Did you hear that?
With the pink slip pen.
You're getting a pink slip in February. She said that. We're going to look at your plan to complete. If you don't with asked, we're not going to follow through on it. You're in a different situation. You're being evaluated based on whether we want to keep you or not. So that's a whole other conversation. So this comes into play. Meeting with your mentor an hour a week is a condition of your journal. We want you to participate in those reflective conversations, how everything's going. And so we're actually, I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things. One is I have a journal that I want you to do every month, all 4 of them, 5 a week. Look guys, it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's not huge. But it's meant to talk about what am I doing about my credential. And even you, everyone can talk about that. Hey, I got to go to this class and do this. And what am I doing in my classroom? Okay, so we redesigned my assessments to measure this, and now I readjusted my teaching based on that. That's what goes in your journal. We're going to ask you to go and do 4 observations in the whole year, 2 a semester. Preferably, if you can do it on your prep, great. If not, we have a sub-request form you can use, take half day, go do a couple observations and come back. But it should be about questions that you have going on in your classroom. Okay? Your mentor should set those up for you. We want them, they're the expert. They know who to go to, and they'll set that up for you. And they're going to be doing 2 formal observations per semester at least. Actually, they're going to be doing one every week, right? Because they're there all the time and giving you feedback on that. That's part of their program, okay? I'd like you to go see somebody do classroom management. So talk to your mentor about that. Who's doing really good classroom management? We want to go see that. See if you can steal some ideas. And literally, go take, oh man, they're doing it, I want to try it. Okay? What are their procedures? How do they handle this? What do they do with transitions? How do they get the attention? What do they do about bathroom passes? I mean, there's 100 questions. None of which you thought about before you got in the classroom. Right? You guys did because you were getting some hints from people. You're like, wait, what? Aries is, you probably didn't know what Google Classroom was, right?
Yeah, that's new. Aries is special.
Aries.
Yeah.
All right, 2 levels of support. The classroom support, which you just talked about, and credentialing. So if you didn't pass, your mentor can help you study. Your mentor can help dial up some resources. Let's find them. Let's get them used. And you can use that time when you're meeting with your mentor to study for those tests. Okay? By the way, I'm going to tell you this and you're going to forget. When you need to do something that requires credentialing, this applies to you too. If you have to go meet an advisor, if you have to go take a test, I want you to use my sub-request form and charge it to Professional Development PICS, PCTS. And if you got to take a test, take the day off before to study for it, and the day out to go take it to get it done. Your credential, except for River, requires we give you release time for credentialing activities. And this is what we're defining as credentialing activities. Whether you need to go do something for your credential and you need some time, go take it. Okay? You said you had that test to take, make sure you take that time to go do it. Don't take sick time to take care of your credential. We're going to make that happen. And it's not just because I'm a nice guy, it's required of your credential. Furthermore, it says sub-request. Here's the rules. I want you to fill it out 5 days in advance and have your admin sign it. They are not going to be able to deny you. If they do, let me know about it immediately. But I'm not going to give you permission to go do it. I'm giving you permission today. Right? So you're going to turn that request into me, and I'm going to keep it. We need it for accounting, for financial reasons. Okay? You already have my permission. Go and do what you need to go do. There's an unofficial support, and I will tell you that my mentors are sworn to secrecy. Actually, what we talked about is confidential conversations. We want you to be able to say, I'm struggling with, I don't know how to. And that's hard to say, right? I don't want to admit that I'm struggling in the classroom. But the one person you can trust with that is your mentor, okay? They are bound by contract not to go and snitch to your administrator. They can't run to them and say, oh my gosh, do you know what's going on in River's class? They got kids bouncing off the wall, there's pencils sticking in, oh my, 3 broken cameras, somebody. Trish and you will talk it out. Now Trish may come to me and say, I don't know what to do about River, and the 3 of us can talk, or maybe I'll give her some advice. But I too am not going to run to your administrator and say, oh my gosh. Why? Because this whole program is built on trust. The second thing is they're not allowed to gossip about it. So they're not going to the lunchroom and hanging out and going, oh my gosh, have you been in Larry's room? It's a disaster, and they're laughing about it. You'll hear about it. And if you heard that your mentor was talking about you behind your back, would you want to talk to them anymore? And it's like Humpty Dumpty. Once those pieces are broken, it's almost impossible to put them back together. I say that to say a third unofficial source of mentoring is some things happen outside of the classroom that affect what's going on inside the classroom. Sometimes you just need someone to talk to, right? Whether we've had beginning teachers go through cancer. We've had beginning teachers, it sounds insignificant, but lose their favorite dog. Had it for 15 years, dog passed away. We've had teachers have their cars broken into and their laptops stolen. Or you quit, and can you imagine 15 cameras in your car and they all get stolen in one day? It'd be a hot mess. Divorce, or breaking up, or other medical things that arise. Hey, maternity and paternity is a real deal, right? So if you're going to be out, let us know what's going on. We can help you and hook you up and try to help best we can. What I'm suggesting, though, is that there are things that you can talk about with your mentor because you can trust that person. So a third unofficial layer of support. Okay? We want you to lead you in those reflective conversations, and the idea of the journal is that it is a mirror. So you get to be honest in the journal and reflect. How can I make my classroom better? But I'm not asking for the evidence, I'm not asking for the goals, right? So that's why it's about a 20, 30-minute assignment. We're going to ask you to do an individual pathway plan. It's very similar to the plan to complete. The plan to complete is housed in HR. This one's housed in my department. Okay? This might take 6 minutes to fill out. I know it's a heartbreak. See, I got your back. It might 5 minutes. Tell me who you are, what you're about. So you're going to tell me I need my TPAs are done, but I need CSETs. You all told me that I'd be curious to know if you have EL authorization in your credential, but you have it baked into your SIPs and internship. Okay, so you can check those boxes. Nobody's been educated with a credential out of state. Did you get your credential in the state of California?
I'm working on it here.
Yeah. So it'll have an EL authorization. And then tell me what program you're enrolled in. Are you guys also, you said you're coaching?
Will be baseball at TJ.
Baseball. Coaching?
I don't know. Well, I was at Torres, but then I was told that I can't. They don't want teachers crossing pyramids, so I think they fired unofficially.
So you're coaching and teaching?
I'm not coaching anything.
Crossing pyramids, you were coaching somewhere else?
Torres.
Or you were teaching and teaching?
I just started at TJ, so now they're telling me that they're not gonna let me go to Torres because I'm
TJ
blue.
was, Madeira.
Because I'm a blue pyramid and there's a red pyramid, so they don't think they're gonna let me go over there. So I said I'm unofficially fired. Although they haven't told me that.
What sport?
Volleyball.
Are you okay with that?
I mean, it kind of sucks, but whatever. It gives me time to focus on other stuff.
If I had the power, and I don't, I would say to everyone, before you get it, your clear credential, you can't do nothing else. If
Yeah.
it was up to me.
They kind of said that.
They did say that.
They didn't want new first-year teachers coaching.
And new teacher orientation year,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so that's why I'm like.
I told Robin, I was like, I'm not going anywhere, so. Like, you might as well let me coach, because I'm out.
But it's tough, well, you're close to finishing, but even still, we're gonna run you through the ringer with induction. Are you coaching? No? You good? All right, coaching, no? You got a club?
We're building one right
A video club, right?
now. Yeah.
You guys doing clubs? Academic decathlon?
I'll probably do one next year.
Classroom
I'm
advisor?
doing it as you.
Look, I get it, because, you know, there's a stipend, right? It's another $1,500 to $3,000, right? How much was a coaching stipend?
About 4,000.
4,000.
And I was an assistant.
That's for the assistant?
I was a high school, yeah.
Damn, that's pretty good. I get it, but that's $400 a month, right?
This is more fun.
Gas
This is
$5
long term.
Gas is $5 a gallon, I get it. But if you can survive without doing it,
Yeah.
it's a little easier, right?
Yeah.
And you're fortunately finished, except for the testing, but it's a lot.
Yeah, that's why I was okay. I was like, well, they could at least call me.
How many nights a week do you have to go to class at Fresno State?
4.
4 nights a week? You got a class tonight?
Nope, this one, my one night off.
Dang! So Friday night too?
I haven't had night classes at Fresno State for
That's killer.
That's all that.
Oh, really?
4 to 6:50 or 7 to 9:50.
Oh, wow.
Do you live in Fresno?
Yeah.
You all live in Fresno?
Firewall.
I knew that. Fresno.
Yeah.
I did.
Nice, there you go. Close to TJ?
No. Closer to Eastern North.
You live out in the country?
Yeah.
That's where my office was up until last February.
Yeah, I'm way out there. So when I subbed, I would sub over at Eastern North.
Right, yeah. Get your mentor and your evaluator to sign your doc and then throw it in the classroom. This is what the journal looks like, pretty simple. Okay?
Is that just where we're finding this?
It's in the Google
Google
Classroom,
Classroom.
so I'll show you just a second.
Okay, got it.
I have readers that read it, so I don't actually read it unless there's an issue. But they will comment, kind of talk with you about what's going on and take an interest in what's going on. Your mentors are filling out this cloud log. We're going to ask you to sign it once a month, just so you know what it looks like. Google Classroom. Grab your phone or your computers. You've got 3, 4 computers open. Go ahead and join that
I'm already
class.
in.
Cool.
I'm in the classroom already.
You're in. You're in. River, come on, man.
Only because my mentor sent it to me.
Were you a Boy Scout too?
No,
No?
I wasn't.
I only saw it because I was going to post something and I was like, wait, I'm in a class? Like,
Yeah.
I'm enrolled?
My mentor sent it, so I saw it right away.
We're in. Now I'm part of the pool club.
You are. All right, I'm gonna send you, have you sign a contract. You call them MOUs. Science. Science and Taurus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you say sign? How'd you know I was in sign?
I recognize your name.
Oh,
Your
okay.
name is
okay.
Brian.
Yes, that's right, that's right. I was like, I don't have anything science on me. Yep.
You typify my He's gonna take you to go see Jennifer Villalobos on her classroom management. That's gonna be a good choice.
I've heard that she's fantastic.
Yeah. Robert, what do you teach? I mean, whatever.
That's fine.
No, you're good. DJ. I learned his name in new teacher orientation. Chris. I know this is Lorena, the only female in the room.
Dakota?
Dakota.
Yep.
Oh, I see. I get it. So where did Roberto names?
Is that the
Oh,
gentleman
he was
left?
here? Oh, no. And Dakota, love your signature. Math, is that right? Science. Are you with Brian also? All right, I promised to tell you about induction. Induction is a 2-year program. But part of the standards say that we have to offer an early completion option, which means that we can get you through in less than 2 years. DJ, if you can get your preliminary by January, we won't even do the ECO. We're going to put you in a soft landing and we'll do January NIC, and then you will finish NIC next year in May. Okay?
I'm hoping by the results, they take forever to release them, but I'm waiting till the 15th when they release them.
This month,
Yeah. And that took it like August 1st.
is that how the kids say it?
I
If you get it,
Bet. That's the new one. Bet.
if you get it by the 15th, I'm issuing it right now.
Bet.
say less.
Oh, that's another one, say less.
No cap.
Early completion option is based on 2 things: experience and exception. They let the program decide what that means. So exceptional, we're leaving up to admin. So if they say, yep, they only need 1 more year of support, that's the whole process. We're good. And experience is generally 2 years in the classroom as a teacher of record. But we've made an exception for Midway Unified. Even if you're only 1 year and it's internship, we'll take a look. No promises, we'll take a look, but generally like 2 years. That's the good news. The catch is, we want to see that you've done all your journals. And that's all I really have after this IPP, there's just journals. There's nothing else in them. Do those on time, and that will help us make a decision on your early completion option. If we get to March, and you don't have anything turned in, and then you turn them all in at once, and then, okay, I think this person probably needs 2 years of support. That's what I'm going to think. Right? So do the journals, get them in on time, and it helps us make a better decision about putting you in that early completion option.
Can we still get the support even if we, like, test out? Like, I like Casey. Like, she's.
You can't test out induction.
No, not like say for me, like, it switches over next month. Like, would I still have the mentorship?
Probably 2 years. Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. It just gets more intense, to be honest.
Okay.
Right? And we're not taking Casey away.
No.
You're there probably at least 2 years
Okay.
this year next. Yeah. All right, tell me how things are going.
Okay.
You already went through the first week. This is usually your earlier orientation. You've got 4 weeks under your belt now, yeah?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. There is like, it's like freaky, it's weird. It's like everything's like really smooth and operating fine, and communications, it's like so surreal almost. I tell Robin all the time, like, it feels like I'm joining a cult. She's like, let's see, you want to explain it. I was like, it's a good thing though.
Part of it is the stable staff
Yeah.
that TJ, the Maderas have. Unlike TJ, it's getting better. And I think that the new principal there is going to really make a difference.
It's already been a great start.
Is that Catalan?
Yeah, and then Sandra Kelly, she's been great, so.
He's been powerful.
Yeah, and he gets really good word of mouth and
You guys should
from,
already go.
from the veteran teachers, they're already saying that it's a complete turnaround from last year.
That's
After what I've been
fantastic
told.
news, and that was a rough
Yeah.
couple of years, especially after the pandemic. So, good. You guys doing good at Torres?
Yeah, it's been great. I love it. It's been a great ton of fun. Minus my fifth period. I dread fifth period a little bit. I have some kids in there, but it's been yeah, a little bit tough, but I've been having a really fun time. Very much enjoying it.
Good. All right. Classroom management is, and Bruce, this works for you. So we're starting on the 20th of September. Email Jessica if you want to come. There's an OMS link. There's a calendar invite, all 9 yards. It's going to be at Matt Tech. It's on Wednesday because we know getting out of Torres is like, forget about it. But at 4 o'clock on a Wednesday, you get out. You get out at 3:30. It's at Matt Tech, 4 o'clock upstairs. It is going to be awesome. And all of our TSMs are going to actually kind of participate in that. But we're going to be talking about room arrangement, procedures, even the continence on your face, how to manage a class with proximity, the colors of your room, whole kinds of stuff, lesson planning, everything. If you are looking for units, we're going to offer 4 units for $315. So the class is free, the units are $300. But it's like $77 a unit or something crazy low price through the University of San Diego. That's the good news. Bad news, it takes 80 hours to get that done. Okay? So it's an hour and a half in the class, and then we're going to have a threaded discussion. It takes about another half hour, so there's 20 hours. I'm going to give you homework assignments, another 20 hours, and then the lab, which is your classroom. Putting it into practice and drawing back data from how it's working is the other 20 hours. We need 60 hours. I said we need 60 to get those 40 units. So I really encourage you, if you need the units, great. But if you need some help with classroom management, which most beginning teachers do, I'd love to have you. Okay? September 20th. All right, what else? Any questions from
I have a quick question.
You bet.
About signing up for those units. How do we do that? I already signed up for the like I'm
class.
RSVP.
I'll tell you in the spring.
Okay.
And the reason is that I don't want you to sign up and pay, and then something happens and you can't fulfill the 60
Makes
hours,
sense.
and you're out the money, or you have to fight with the University of San Diego to get your money back. I kind of want you to complete it and go, I've done it, all right, let's pay.
Okay.
And so I'll tell you in the spring.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm married, I have 5 kids, 2 from mine, 3 dogs.
Football team?
My favorite team is anybody playing the 49ers.
There you go.
My second favorite team are the Rams, but I was a Ram fan growing up until they moved to St. Louis, and then I just kind of lost interest in it, and now I'm kind of getting back into it, but I'm pure love my Dodgers, and so I know they're not going to win the World Series this year. We don't have a pitching. Not going to happen. We just lost another one. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we won 21 out of the 25 last month,
Right.
and then we're winning games for no reason.
Arias just got arrested for domestic violence.
Yeah, I saw
That's
it.
what I mean, and that's the second time he's been arrested. He's done.
Yeah.
He's done. He's going to go to Trevor Bauer route.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when I messed up. Pitching in the playoffs.
Would you guys do me a favor, grab your phones and give me a little feedback?
Yeah, it's football season.
That's football.
What team?
Chargers.
No, what baseball team?
Padres.
I think we told
Remember that's what we talked about.
I think we talked about it.
Oh, and so I'm co-teaching with Mr. Reyes, and I was like, first time we met, and I was like, hey, who's your favorite baseball team? And he's like, I don't do sports. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. I was like, I don't do baseball. And I was like, so you don't like football either? And he goes, no. I was like, oh, this is gonna work out great. It's like, as long as you're not Dodgers or Raiders fan, I was like, I'm fine.
Fresno State won on the road. That was an upset.
Yeah. Purdue.
Purdue,
Right,
that's crazy.
Purdue.
Yeah, I like that.
I understand Purdue played a pretty sloppy game